Check. All right, what is up, guys? Playback trading the 26th last month. Here we had a swing high, first entry, second entry. Overall trend is up, and so you just want to go for a sell there and sell at the non-obvious, and that works out well. This is the one I want to talk about, though. We have a swing high up here, kind of a double top, first entry, second entry, and there's something very hidden here because at this point it just looks like an overall uptrend due to the fact you have these lows. Come back and test it. Let me just boost this real quick. Come back and test it, and then market should be on the uptrend. However, if you take a look at what the minute chart looks like, we have this pattern, and it's in our notes continuously. It's that congested working way up with the higher lows and higher highs. And let's see if I can actually pull that up on the notes real quick. And here it is. You can see the congestion and then the push up, congestion, push up. So it still is like these mainly work on trending days, not and as you can see in the title, trending days, not necessarily strong days. And this is one of those days. So once you get that congestion, and what that congestion mean, even though there's that level of resistance gets pushed, there's a lot of buying or selling going in the opposite direction. So in this case, you have that congestion working its way up. So overall trend is down at that point. So you have a swing high first entry, and since your second entry is right here, and overall trend is down, you want to go for a buy. And yeah, and we just got filled out another order. It's the exact same thing. It's still part of that congestion, as you can see. Even though we're at a huge gap here on the tick chart, you really got to focus on that minute chart and what it looks like there. And it's that congestion working its way up. So you had a swing low here, first entry, second entry, and a non-obvious buy. And yeah, we get it by the scalp. Let's see if how far it pushes up. So it came up like right around here. So yeah, that was pretty lucky trade. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good trade. It works up there. A sell could have worked, but I think we were okay with that one. And you could have also done a sell due to the fact that you said with this big gap here that it was just an overall uptrend, and so you could have sold there as well. But I think the buy there is better, especially since it keeps on pushing up there. All right, so I have it triggered really fast, but the buy there was the best one. I was hitting the record button as when I should have been placing the order down. But yeah, the buy there is the best. The buy there is the best thing to do there because it's, if you look at the minute chart, it's still on that congestion uptrend, and it doesn't really look like it on the tick chart once again. But if you take a look at this, it's that congestion working its way up, so that means overall trend is down, especially with that push down here. Swing high first entry, so second entry right there, and then buy. Pretty good trade. All right, so you had this gap here, but then once it started, wasn't able to push up back to the highs right here. Something in the market changed, so now there's that weird little gap right here. Let me see if I could draw it out. It's this thing, so it's no longer that like congestion working up, but you have this weird thing going on, so that congestion is no longer the case. So this is making the overall trend up. So selling here on the swing low, first entry, second entry would be the best option. That would be your signal. Oh, actually this is your signal bar. So yeah. Actually 75 plus 2 1 2. All right, cool. So the buy would have been right here, and that's what we got. The scalp, let's see, that's 75 high, 75, that's 2 3 2 ticks. Actually 25 would be the scalp. So it looks like there's FOMO here. We're at these lows, which is an interesting thing. And it looks like after that huge spike down, even though we didn't surpass these lows here, there's a ton of FOMO in there. So selling there is what you want to do. Even though we were lucky enough with that scalp, selling would be the better option. Because you have a huge spike into the direction. It's been something that people have been waiting for, and the fact that it pushed down so quick creates FOMO. And the fact that there's a ton of stops in these specific areas is going to create a lot of FOMO. If there wasn't these many lows in this area, levels of support, I think there would be less FOMO. But the fact that there's so many in these this area here, and this, and this, a ton of FOMO is going to come into there. Right? So selling there's the best option. All right, overall trend is down here. Let's see. Ton of support, huge spike down. Go for a sell here, based on the fact that this move could have FOMO. Yeah, especially since you broke below these. So yeah, one ticker sell right here would be nice. All right, pretty easy trade. Let's see if we got super duper lucky, or is that, yeah, very good trade. All right, so overall support is right here, and this is a range day. If you take a look at what the minute chart looks like here, it's a very range day. It's not a trending day. Huge trends in both directions, but clear highs and clear lows. So that support is very valid. And so the reason it's valid is because people are trying to trade back to the other side, which is the highs, or into the lows. In this case, it'd be the highs. So a ton of support there for people to go long. And we just counter that. So overall trend would be up with all that support, and selling there is the best option. All right, so the fact that there's a ton of support there, and with the huge wick like that and a huge rejection candle bar here on the minute chart, that there's no FOMO in that direction. If this kept pushing up here, then maybe there'd be a lot more FOMO. But in this case, it's just an overall uptrend. Yeah, and so there, it's the best option. So if it's a spike that doesn't have FOMO, so this is definitely a spike, it just becomes an overall uptrend. And even there's big moves in both directions, so this has a little bit of support in that direction. So selling there is actually a little bit of if it's a spike without FOMO, it becomes an overall uptrend. If it's a spike with FOMO, then you just treat it as a spike. Overall trend is actually down, so the buy there is the best option. You have a ton of rejection there. So definitely FOMO. So it looks like there was FOMO due to the fact that you come off these highs, and once you get a spike in the direction that you think it's going, it doesn't necessarily become spike down, or a trend down, I mean, even though you have all that resistance there, but it's because you bounce off those highs and then spike down that creates FOMO. So selling there is actually the best option. So once again, since you bounce off the highs and the spike went down, that creates a sense of FOMO. People are suspecting to trade back to the lows. So that's something you got to think about. So now at this point, things are confusing. So now you can use those level support. But once markets start to push on this way, there's a lot more FOMO. People are aware that you could potentially trade back to these lows down here. But since we're pushing back up here, it's not quite clear that people are pushing, trying to push the market back up to the high, to the low. So you can use those level support a lot more clearly. All right, I don't know if you saw it, but it was a quick trade. Got in it and scalped right out. Overall trend is down because you come back and tested it, and it was just one test, but it was on. It's only been a short amount of time since the last test, just a couple minutes, so that's very valid. If it was further apart, then maybe we would need a couple more tests, but since it was so recent, it's valid. So overall trend would be down, you just go for the buy. Looks like a sell. It would have also worked if you treat it as an uptrend. Ooh, ton of support here. Overall trend is up at that point, so you want to go for sell. I was too focused on this, but once you start to see that there's a ton of support there, especially on a minute chart, you tested it here and you continue to test it right there. So ton of support going in that direction, you go for the sell. All right, I accidentally put sell here, but it's supposed to be a buy. Let's see if it works. Nice. So just one test, but that's just enough because recent test. So you just go for the buy, and it looks like we got it just by the tick before getting stopped down here. How lucky did we get? Oh, we got, nope, we're good. Yeah, super good. Okay, cool. Actually, would this one have stopped us out? I'm curious. It would have came to our tick. Interesting. Okay, we'll just keep going. Swing high first entry. Ooh, interesting, interesting. I'm not going to say anything right now, but we're going to take a position here. Okay, I thought it was a buy, but no. I think this move becomes FOMO, so ton of resistance here. Overall trend would be down. Overall trend up. This is just one of those things where it's an unfortunate level of bars because I want to go for a buy here, but it doesn't look like it works out in either case. One of those trades I'd be okay with. Yeah, because see, you'd still get it. It's just one of those things, you know. I'm okay with it. Missed the trade. Oh wait. When it came to our tick. Alright, so you want to go for a seller just because it's a big move on a range trade. That's something you have to take into consideration. Yeah, selling there is the best option. This move becomes FOMO, I think. I think we traded this before. Live, actually. Maybe not. I have no idea. In the trade? I'm like super zoomed in. Alright, yeah. So just FOMO. This move has FOMO. People thought the market was going to keep pushing down, but the fact that every time it pushes down, it keeps pushing right back up. So people are having FOMO that the market's going to keep shooting up, and that's why the buy there on the one ticker is the best option. Oh, yeah, my God. Alright, so I'm kind of in a bit of deciding between two options. I feel like I remember how this day plays out, which I hate because that means I'm influenced by that. And so I'm going to take a trade based on that, which is going long. I think the market goes long here, but I could be very wrong, in which a lot of the case I am. My thinking is that overall trend becomes down because it's a huge spike down, and people are suspecting it, and it's enough support here and another test right there to say overall trend is down. Because you have big moves in both directions, and especially since it's a range day, people are trying to trade back to another side. This is not necessarily a trending day. So I'm going to go ahead and argue that the overall trend is down. Plus, it's a little bit of that congestion working its way up, like we talked about before. So I'm going to go ahead and say overall trend is down. We might regret this. Oh, I don't know. Okay, that didn't play out exactly. Anyway, I thought it would. I feel like going long here is a better option from my memory. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I have. But we're going to go short. Yeah, so going long there's the best option. There's no FOMO because you have this repetitive pattern. And once you have that repetitive pattern, which is this like this here, you have a huge spike, half correction, huge spike, half correction, huge spike, half correction, huge spike, half correction, and huge spike, half correction. So everybody's suspecting that there's no FOMO coming in this direction. So buying there is the best option because it's just an overall trend down. Okay. All right, and since the trend is working up here, you have that spike here, meaning the overall trend becomes. Oh man. It's a little bit of a weird one because we say if it's a spike in that direction, there's a lot more FOMO. So technically you would buy, but no, it's not FOMO. It's not. We're not trading it like a spike. There's people trying to buy their way back into this, so it's just an overall uptrend here, and so selling there is the best option. Yeah, so buying here is actually the best option. I don't know, because it's overall downtrend. It's that thing. That was a clear buy there. I don't know why I sold, and then here's a clear sell. Because it's a big move in that direction with the overall trend. So overall trend becomes up. And yeah. Alright, so I try to outsmart myself, but no. It's just an overall downtrend. That's it. You have a lot of support, overall downtrend. Best thing to do there is buy. Don't experiment. I want to experiment, but we're just going to stick to the strategy here. Whoops, got into a trade. Didn't mean to do that. Hold on, let me just fix this. Okay, wow, we got filled really late now. That should be a little bit higher. It should be a little bit higher as well. Ooh, stopped out. All right, so I guess experimenting is okay. So since we're not in this trending day range anymore, we've reached its trending day. As you can see, it's just working its way up here, and it's most definitely a trending day because those lows can't even come back down to these lows. So this level of support becomes a little bit different now. It's broke lower every single time now, and now it's just going to behave a lot more differently. And so that level of support is no longer valid, meaning trend is down, so you want to go for a buy there. And you wouldn't be able, actually, you might have been able to 3 points out. Yeah, actually, you would be get there and just buy the tick and scalp out. And you have an overall uptrend. You came tested those, so you go here, right here, and sell, and that'd be an easier one, easy clap. But then you did break it down below it, so now it could be an overall downtrend. It's an interesting thing going on here. Could be, not saying it is. Alright, we're gonna stick to the strat. Let's see if our strat works. This is like textbook stuff right here. Alright, so pretty textbook. And we got it. We just broke below these lows, spiked down, and that was it. FOMO, 1 tick entry. Good entry. Good trade. Negative 48, bro. I feel like we should just start doing the exact opposite of what we've been doing. We've been so successful, don't you think? You could enter this at a 1 tick entry, actually. It looks like it works already. Yeah. 1 tick entry because it's your first opportunity. You didn't really break above these highs, so it's still your first opportunity to enter that trade. So yeah, 1 tick entry could have worked right there. Alright, I tried selling here, but I moved too fast. Alright, so it's just a move with FOMO. You broke above this level of resistance. I thought I was outsmarting everything. But once you break on a level of resistance, it has that FOMO, especially since you have these highs and this huge correction and all these highs to push back up to. And mainly you break above this level of high, which could cause some FOMO too. Nice. So we broke below this level of resistance. And yeah, how lucky did we get? Oh, we got pretty good. And so it's just a FOMO move. Yeah. Okay, so it was just a FOMO move. 1 tick entry sell. I thought I was outsmarting the market again, but you have that level of resistance, and so selling there, it's FOMO. 1 ticker. This is a very easy day to trade if I would just stick to the rules. Oh, it happened really fast. Maybe because I'm on 20 times the speed. But non-obvious buy. Overall trend is down because the level of support keeps getting broken on a trending day. And this is considered a trending day. And actually, a sell could have worked as well because it's kind of turning back into a range day if you take a look at it. Especially on the minute chart. If I had my face real quick, the bottom left hand corner, you can see it's kind of looking like a range now. So a sell there could have also worked, but we went for the buy at a non-obvious. And either one works. But yeah, we are going to treat things with more of a range now unless we start to push up really high. I think trading with a much clearer mind helps because I feel like every time I trade now, it's a lot of obvious stuff, but I just end up getting foggy in my brain. If that makes sense. So that was a pretty good trade, I think. Yeah, very good trade. So I originally was gonna buy, just obliviously. Am I using that word right? Because I had this level of resistance here, and then I say push it up. No, that means buy. Since we broke through that level of resistance, that means FOMO. But no, that level of resistance only was tested once, so it's just an overall uptrend, and you go for the sell there. So good trade. Got a bad feeling about this one. Ooh, to the tick. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but I just had a bad feeling. Alright, there's a level of resistance. We broke through it, but I think the biggest thing to take away from this is the fact that I think it's because the first entry is really like up here, and the second entry is right there. What's the best thing I could come up with? Because we broke below that level of resistance, and there should be FOMO in that direction. However, we have been on this downtrend. And actually, yeah, people are suspecting the market to keep pushing up here, but since it's on this slight downtrend, I think there's a lot less FOMO. So buying there is actually the best option. Yeah, I think that's the case. It's on the slight downtrend, so people are actually suspecting that. Even though you did break below that level of resistance, since you're on the slight downtrend, it's gonna create a lot less FOMO. So it's less textbook due to the fact that that first entry is looks like that, and so you're gonna have to take into consideration that that trade may not work out. But there could be FOMO in it now. Who knows? Happened really quick, but we just bought here. It's just an overall downtrend. Nothing fancy. We didn't treat it with FOMO at all because it's on that slight downtrend, and so there's less worrisome that the market's going to keep pushing down. So here, there's more FOMO in this direction because you're still going sideways trying to push the market up. But once you start to see those lower highs there and the lower lows, that becomes a lot less FOMO. People actually start selling and stuff. So yeah, that's the reason. It's a little bit of a hard one, but I think that's the level we got to take it at if we really want to be successful. So putting out a more broader perspective and taking a look at what the market really looks like, and really double checking those trades. If the market looks like it's going to go, if it doesn't have FOMO, really think about those FOMO moves, because I think the FOMO moves is what made us successful last time. It's a hard thing to learn, and because that's something that's 100% in the whole market. I really don't want to go on a crazy rant here. This video's already 21 minutes long, but I think that's going to be the biggest key here. Break lower, swing low, first entry, second entry. You can go for a sell because the overall trend is up with that double bottom and a good push up. Yeah, that's a good amount of support. So selling there's the best thing to do, or you could have bought a non-obvious saying overall trend is down. Either one works. But yeah, learning that FOMO I think is going to be the biggest key, because that's the only thing that's actually consistent in every market. So in this case, there's FOMO. Here's the thing about this though. You try to trade the market back to the other side a couple times, but the fact that it breaks below that level of resistance again, it happens once here and again here. And so the third time, people are suspecting the market to push up, but that's what's going to push it back down and creates a lot more FOMO. Wait a minute, this market actually has potential to go all the way back down. And so that's going to create that FOMO. One tick entry would have worked there. And that's what I initially thought, but I thought going textbook too much is going to really backfire on us. So going with our gut feeling, or on what FOMO really is, I think is what's really going to be key here. Ooh, so yeah, overall uptrend. Ton of support there, pushing the market up, selling there. I didn't think that was enough, but that's more than enough. Man, we're terrible at day trading. Swing high, first entry, second entry, overall uptrend. You just go for a non-obvious sell. That would be an easy trade. I think this one's gonna fail, but then again, all our trades fail, right? Maybe we should just do exactly opposite. Like even flip our buys and stops. Like where our stop would be place our limit order, stuff. Our scalps would be. I think we'd be really freaking successful. Like scarily successful if we just did that. Can we actually do that? Push down a little bit. Go back down. Okay, so easy buy there. Oh, cool. We read it right. What? No way. Overall trend is down. Go for the buy. Nice. So since, even though we nice. So easy FOMO trade. Lucky one for sure. Interesting. Alright, 2 o'clock is about to come in. We have 5 more minutes. Let's see if we could get one more trade. I haven't traded to 2 o'clock in forever. And literally since we've started this strat. Just so much trades within that we just get stopped out before we even get it. Or get our goal or whatever. Nice. Got it. So overall trend down. Just go for a buy, a non-obvious buy. A ton of resistance there. There's not enough resistance to say overall trend is up because there's a ton more in that direction. Plus the spikes coming into that way, and we usually do it like that. Oh, to the tick. Oh, you fool. We would have got it if we got filled at the correct spot here. Got filled a couple ticks late, unfortunately. But if it keeps pushing up, then the obvious thing to do is to buy there. And we got unfortunately stopped out. So yeah, the sell there is actually the best option. We just got filled kind of late, which is kind of unfortunate. So the next time something like that happens, I guess we deserve to get stopped out. And that's gonna be it. 210, actually. Yeah. Peace out.